Okay, on the count of 3, everyone say their favorite video game. 1, 2.
Tecmobowl.
Okay. What's the best game console of all time? 1, 2.
Nintendo Virtual Boy.
Oh my god. Okay. Name the greatest lead character in gaming history. 1, 2.
Gex the Gecko.
What? Do we just become best friends?
Yep.
Do you guys want to go do some karate in the garage?
Yep. All right, I'll grab the nunchucks. Welcome back to another edition of the Karate in the Garage podcast. I'm your host, Mason Merrill, and joining me today are my two co-hosts, Weston Toth and Aaron Bowen. What's up, guys? How you doing, Weston?
Yo.
Hey.
It's funny. This is the first time we've done this where we can see each other. So, yeah.
I know.
Kind of like it.
Weird.
Well,
I like it.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean you don't like
Except-
it? I can't see you because your webcam is absolutely horrible, but you can see me. So obviously, one of us is getting the better end of the deal, and it's not me.
And it's not you. I'm much better looking.
Probably.
You know that to be true.
Yeah. So we're recording a little bit late night here, so we're all in different locations once again. But how you doing, Aaron? You didn't come to work today, so
I'm doing swell, man. No, I didn't. Well, I worked from home today. Got the little home office set up. But yeah, it's been. I gotta say, today's been a good day. It's Wednesday, my dudes. So
for show. Been lifting, Weston?
Dude, pretty much every day. I didn't lift today, though. I kind of felt like a scrub. I normally lift 5 days a week, but I did heavy squats yesterday, so and deadlifts, which most people break that up. So I'm feeling a little sore, and my feet were sore because I was up all day running around. I got home at like 6 o'clock, which is why we normally do it the podcast a little earlier because we have nice schedules, but sometimes duty calls. But sometimes I just got to make some good money and work past 5, and that's what I did today.
Nice. Yeah. I love how yesterday you were like, yeah, I'll be home around 3. It'll be no big deal
I know.
to get this done. And it's just life in the summer running pools. I guess.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was so convinced, too, because I looked at my schedule, and then I completely forgot I had a client meeting at 3, and I knew that it was going to take at least, at least 30 minutes, an hour. And I'm glad I did because I got a really, really nice job out of it. But getting home late, and it was so hot, so the past couple hours of the day, it just, man.
Yeah, the heat's been real here in Texas, that's for sure. Yeah. Today wasn't as bad for us. It was kind of overcast and breezy, but it was 90, but it was still not as bad.
Yeah, this week's not been too bad. Dude, shout out our bud Spencer, because he just told me that he's going to the Aspen Mountains to go hiking this weekend. And he says, it's only 70 degrees where I'm going hiking this weekend. I was like,
can I join you?
Could I just come live with you for a little bit? Would you mind if I just came and snuggled you for a bit? And he didn't say he liked that or disliked that, but I may do it.
We know he's down.
But he thought it. That he loved it. He was down.
His wife
oh,
wouldn't be
man.
down, but he would be.
Shut up.
You know what? She's not invited.
Facts.
It doesn't matter.
Shout out Spencer, our third co-host.
Our third he's like the ghost of our third co-host because he did one episode, but no one ever heard that one.
Dude, that's so funny. I said that to my wife yesterday because I was joking about your brother coming on and how he would be the third co-host if your brother came on.
Facts.
And and I was like, but Spencer's going to be that fourth ghost co-host because we never released that episode, the hidden tapes. That was a terrible episode.
It was so bad.
I listened to it recently. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I was in a very warm closet in Georgia doing that and had no equipment.
Yeah, I think I forgot about that episode, and I was 3 glasses of wine deep by the time we started, so I wasn't there perfectly. I think I was playing video games while we were recording too. I wasn't really dedicated. It was bad.
Oh man.
Yeah, but anyway, so last
week
on the podcast, we announced we were playing Earthbound, and I did not realize that this was like a full-blown RPG, and therefore had zero time to play it. So I was like, I don't want to give this like a half review of me just playing it for a couple hours. Seems like a game that needs some time. And from what I played of it, it seemed really cool. I really like the animation, Super Nintendo and things like that, but I was just like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So we have, to be punny here, we've called an audible into Tecmobowl.
Why is that punny? You always say that.
Why would you steal my joke?
I do
stole my
say
joke.
that all the time. I'd say call an audible all the time, just because I'm a fan of just football in general. But yeah, this week it actually worked.
Yeah.
You're a monster.
I didn't steal your joke. I say that all the time, Aaron.
No, he he definitely didn't. He has literally said that for the past like 3 years we've been doing this.
I know.
Yeah, and I figured, yay, football's coming back. It'll be fun. And man, like I was playing this game and I was comparing it to when we played Madden 95 the whole time, and it was just, I mean, we'll get into it, but it blew it out of the water in my opinion. Just like we always talk about, less is more in these situations, and less was definitely more. So this game came out in the arcade originally in Japan of December of 1987, and it was developed by Tecmo, obviously, hence the name Tecmobowl. And it was just a regular 2D arcade kind of. What do you call this kind of view it had? It wasn't like the straight up, like kind of the Maddens were. It was kind of like side view.
It's like a side scroller almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a side view.
Yeah, I mean, you basically saw it from like the 50-yard line kind of view, like where you're just seeing it, and then as you know, if you caught the ball or it, you know, you started running, it would just kind of scroll with you, kind of like a side scroller. So we're all right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was kind of like Madden back.
You guys hear me pouring Jose Cuervo in the background?
It was kind of like Madden did a few years back with when they had the coach mode, and it would just look at it from the sideline, basically look at the game from the sideline. But you were like over the field, obviously. So basically, it was just a football game, and the game really relied on picking the right plays on offense and countering on defense. So there were 4 plays per team, and some of them were different. Some of them per team were the same, but overall, it was just those 4, and the offense would pick a play, and then the defense would try to pick the same play so they could line up to counter.
Yeah, I really like that about the game because it was simple, but it was kind of rock. It's a regular Nintendo game. It's an NES game. But it kind of gave it like this semi-rock, paper, scissors element that I felt fit it really well because it was simple. But it's still, if you picked the right play, if you picked the same play as your opponent, you were good to go. If you weren't, you really had to work for it to stop them on that play. So I think even though it was simple defensively, especially defensively, it really wound up working out really well.
So I completely agree, but also what I like as the game went on, I just started depending where I thought that the guy was going. If it was a run, then you and you pick the right play or the wrong play, the guy would have just been able to blow by you. So I kind of took my character and I would just run to figure out where, you know, Mason was gonna go. So there was some like actually pretty good counterplay because there was like if you picked the wrong play, there would always be a guy open. But if you were playing like really good defense, you could go to like an one of your like cornerbacks or safeties and be that person and just follow the guy around because the people on defense were a lot faster than the guys on offense. So like at the end of the game, I started countering a lot of like even like where I picked the wrong play, but I would just use like take my guy and just run after the open receiver and just cover him. And it didn't work every time, but it was definitely some you know, like you could counter even a bad, like if you chose the bad play.
Yeah, and especially because I mean I think we only played this 2-player, so I think that really, you know, resonates well because once you start playing with somebody, you kind of get a sense of their rhythm, and it's like a real football game. You know, different quarterbacks and what have you have different rhythms, different receivers have different rhythms as far as how they act on the field, And so when you're just playing this 2-player, different, Mason has his rhythm where he kind of dips back and then goes to the bottom of the screen to throw the ball towards the middle. And so every time I noticed him doing that, I knew exactly who to pick and how to counter it.
Bro.
And we just had an interception
Hold up.
basically.
That second game, I smoked you. You beat me terribly that first game.
No.
But I figured out that one play that you just didn't cover the whole time, and I smoked you.
The first game was like 42 to
That's
0.
very true.
The second game was like 38 to 21 or something like that. It wasn't that
Let's
bad.
be straight, though. In 1987, when this game came out, the Cowboys were not a good team, and the San Francisco 49ers were in the height of Joe Montana. So the Cowboys were a much worse team in all aspects. Like, my line was getting blown up the entire time. Like, anytime I would try to throw the ball, you would be like rushing at me, even if I was in shotgun, things like that. So
I mean, it's basically been that way since 1987.
That's not true at all. But I mean, do you think they actually programmed the teams?
Yes, I do. 100%. Because Bo Jackson is the best player in this game. Yeah, there was a lot of balance going on. Because I played as the Miami Dolphins the next round, and we actually had a decent game. We played.
Yeah, it was a much better game.
Yeah, and because I had more, my line was covering your defense better because Dallas was just getting blown up the entire time. So
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, but anyway, I played the Dolphins at the height of what's his name? Dan Marino. Sorry,
I was gonna help you, but I was like, no, he's got this.
Yeah, at the height of Dan Marino, and he was a much better team. Weston played as the Dolphins last night, beat me handily. Granted, there was some, bad play in there. I threw a lot of interceptions, but the defense was picking it up and was, a lot faster at times too. So anyway, it was just one of those things where I thought the game was pretty well balanced, but there were like the super teams in the game. As they should, I guess, be because they were good at the time.
Yeah, per usual. I mean, even Madden now, like whoever wins the Super Bowl or makes it to like the championship games, like they're abnormally strong versus middle of the road teams. Like it's like maxed out. Like they'll never they'll never fumble the ball. For instance, like I don't know if you guys ever experienced that in recent Madden games, but if you have like a really good offense team, or like your running game's good, they never fumble the ball. But then if you have like on the opposite side, they get hit and like it's like a 50-50 chance that it's getting fumbled.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, unless like you can't even necessarily even train like nowadays. Like you have like training and you can assign stats and you can like trade for other players, and that doesn't always even necessarily really matter. It's just picking a good team to start with.
Yeah, that's right. So the controls kind of in this game were pretty much the same as how NFL Blitz worked. It was just a two button control where you would use the A button to move the cursor around to select the player you want to throw to, and then use the B button to throw the ball. So, and in a lot of those situations, you had to think really fast because it took some reflex there because you were like trying to look, but also not trying to get sacked at the same time. So I thought it was a pretty. I thought it was a pretty decent control type system for how it worked. It just took me some getting used to, especially playing modern day, how it's so just hit the button you want to throw the guy to, kind of thing. So.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like for me playing this, like I thought it was clearer who I was throwing it to than on like NFL Blitz. I mean, I think if you guys have listened to this podcast, I hated NFL.
We're still gonna
Blitz.
have our matchup,
but like, yeah, we will. But like, this was so much better than NFL Blitz. It was clear who you were throwing it to. There was an icon above the individual's head. There was no way to not throw it to that person that you had selected because you pushed the wrong direction or what have you. There was no misclick. You just throw it to who you want to throw it to. Really, the only thing that would impede that was if there was a safety or whomever in front of them that would intercept the ball.
Right.
Because basically, if there was somebody in front of your receiver, they were going to intercept.
Yeah. So to your point, Aaron, it's kind of funny because I didn't like actually hate NFL Blitz, but this was to me easier to find a receiver, and it was like I think this was a better game than NFL Blitz. I'm throwing this out there. I think it was a better game, and 100%. This was 1987. Like this was a gem.
No.
This was a
15
gem.
years before NFL Blitz came
I don't
out.
know why games
I mean,
ever
come on.
changed the format. Like, this is literally in the top 100 lists of all-time greatest games.
That's
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah,
Tecmo Super Bowl is the Super Nintendo version, and it's in that list
see.
too. But like Madden going to the kind of the vertical view instead of the horizontal, it ruined the game for me, and it was so hard to figure out where you were going with the ball and things like that. But you could actually let a play develop, have some strategy in who you were going to throw to, and you didn't want to let the play develop too much because everybody would just end up being covered or you'd get sacked. But if you hit it at the right time and saw your receivers that were open and could get the cursor over to them when you throw the ball, you could make some pretty sick plays.
No, absolutely. I think this game is a lot more strategic. It's still kind of arcadey and goofy to a certain extent, but it is still a lot more strategic than I think many games in 1987.
Yeah, the cool thing about this one is I could see, like, if we had one of those like arcade games that we would have in our basement with our studio or bar or whatever, I would have this game on there and we could play it like today, me and us on our joysticks or whatever, and even we played it online obviously, and still have a lot of fun because it did what it was supposed to so properly.
Oh yeah.
And it was arcadey and stuff, but that
yeah.
that was fine. But there was still, it wasn't it definitely had like a feel of a true football game too, and it wasn't like silly like NFL Blitz was, where it was just like ridiculous.
They were trying to be serious with
Yeah,
this
they
game,
were,
Oh,
and
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, when I say arcade, I mean because like people were still like flying, 10 yards in a direction or whatever. But I think it's more just because it's a Nintendo game and like they have to kind of get the point across that the dude got tackled hard. I mean, it's hard to kind of, what am I trying to say? It's hard to like resonate that in an 8-bit situation. So that's really all I mean by arcade, and the fact that like the games are really quick and things like that. You could play this in an arcade if you wanted to, but it was absolutely super duper fun. And I mean, like, most of the time when me and Mason play Madden, like one of us is pissed off at the end of it.
Yeah.
we're
ready to fight.
One of us gets mad. I'm like hucking controllers at the walls by the end of it most of the time. But like this was just goofy and fun, and we just were like goofing off and enjoying it.
Yeah, we were still like yelling and screaming at the same time though. Everybody in the room that was watching us was like laughing at us, and they were just like shaking their head.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't like yelling and screaming like
not
out of
like anger,
frustration,
but we were just like, "Oh, awesome, sick play," things like that. So
exactly. Yeah, I mean, like if it was Madden, I'd be like, "What are
you
you doing?"
Angry. Yeah.
But like for this, it was more just fun.
Yep. So this game, just a couple notes for it, just little fun facts. All in the Virtual Console version that we played, all of the names had to be removed because of the NFLPA and the contracts and things like that. So that's why there were no names in the game. But if you played the original NES version, all the names were in the actual game of the players and things like that. So, and then another note too is the arcade version allowed for 4 players to play, but the console obviously only allowed 2. So an arcade version of this with 4 players, it sounds like it would be pretty fun.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking at how they did like a
sick.
remake of this in 2017.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they
where
did
it
on
was basically
PS4.
it was just a little bit better of color, and then it had like updated players. So there's like, I'm just looking at a screenshot of
That's
like
cool.
JJ Watt right now where he like tackles him and he's giving like a salute and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
I'm gonna buy that.
I know. I kind of want to get it.
I'm gonna go get it.
Dude, I told you about that like 2 days ago.
Yeah,
Come
you
on.
told me, but you weren't sure like what it was exactly. But now that I know there's a version, I'm
wasn't-
gonna go get it. I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, all I saw was Tecmobowl coming to PlayStation 4, and it didn't have any. I didn't click on it to get more information. I just BS my way through that entire conversation. like,
Yeah,
my
pretty
entire
much.
Life, so.
They kind of gave it. It sounds like they kind of gave it the treatment that they gave NBA Jam. Where they made an NBA Jam for mobile back in like the early 2010s, with like updated players like LeBron and all the updated players in it. Sounds like that's what they kind of did with it. So
True.
played a lot of NBA Jam with your brother back in the early 2010s.
Oh yeah, NBA Jam, man. That's That's one of the oldie but goodies right there.
Yep.
NBA Street. That's
Oh,
where it's
yeah.
at.
Yeah, there's like a street mode coming to the new 2K as well, or they're like making a new street game or something. But there's going to be like a
Dude, if they made a new
I need to
they
look
made
that
a
up.
new NBA Street game, that would be sick. That was so much fun. 'Cause you had like the midget guy, and then you had the guy with was like 7 feet tall, like 150 pounds, just like goofy stuff. It was super entertaining. I love that game. I'm not a basketball guy, but I did love that game.
Yeah. I enjoy watching basketball. Lakers lost last night though, so I'm pretty sad. But
They have to make it
that's besides
interesting.
the
Let's be
point.
honest,
Yeah.
they're not going to lose that series.
But to Portland, let's be
Yeah.
honest, like they should just blow them out.
I knew that. I
Anyway.
knew they were going to take a game or two because
Yeah,
Dame is
I don't
when
know.
he plays, he's so good. But they're not winning that series.
Yeah,
Just sitting over here watching baseball like an old man.
drinking whiskey or tequila, watching baseball.
Drinking tequila and watching baseball. I'm 2 shots deep. If anybody wants to do any shots with me, let me know.
Yeah. But anyway, so back to Tecmobowl. The graphics I thought for the time were pretty good. I mean, like we were saying, we could make out the players and how it all worked. The crowd was I liked how they did it, but it was pretty psychedelic. It's like
I didn't mind it. I kind of like because
Absolutely.
you only really saw
Let's
them
be-
when you were kicking like a field goal or got a touchdown. But it just was it was kind
Yeah.
of like a repeat of the same like 3 guys. It was just like colored back and forth like there. But it made me feel
Yeah.
like there was a crowd for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You know what it reminded
Yeah.
me of? Remember those books from the 90s with like you had to look at them a certain way to see the picture inside of
Oh
them?
yeah.
They kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah,
Like kind of funny. I was like
absolutely.
but
all I remember about the graphics is that those were the sexiest cheerleaders in any game ever made, hands down.
yeah. Yeah, we didn't have any Tomb Raider situations going on with those. They were like nah, but it was like
Man.
it was just pictures, and the halftime show was pretty cool. I thought it added some flavor to the game for sure, you know.
Yeah.
There was like a little bit of voiceover
She's
too,
like, all right.
at certain points.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would see like the
It
scoreboard.
was a lot like Wave Racer.
Yeah, so all the rules were football rules. The only part that bugged me is you couldn't go for 2 in the game. You had to kick field goals.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that
like
until you said that.
there
now.
wasn't that there wasn't that kind of upper hand you could try to get in the game if you were losing if you missed a field goal and it was back and forth and the field goal was really going to be the decider. You couldn't go for 2 to tie it. So
Yeah. Could you punt?
you could
No,
punt.
I don't
yeah,
remember
you could
ever
punt,
trying to
yeah.
punt.
I never
you
did.
Could? Okay.
Yeah.
We always either went for it on 4th or somebody got an interception or
Yeah.
a touchdown. Like it was never. I never
Well,
remember punting in any of our games.
The problem
so.
was one of us was always down pretty badly. You know, like I was down pretty badly against Weston, so I'm like, I'm going
Yeah.
for it. And then I was down badly against Aaron,
Yeah, it's
but
true.
then I had the upper hand against you, so you were like, I'm going for it. You know?
You
So-
were up in the first quarter, but then like
Right,
after I
right,
got the
right.
hang of the controls, I came back and started like after
My game was lagging so bad though too, and then like the whole start, I thought I picked Miami, and so I ran the other way and got a safety the first play because I thought it was you, and it was lagging and all this stuff. So that's why I wanted to play another game, but you shut me down.
Oh, sorry, it's too late. I love how I shut you down because I wanted to go to bed, and then we ended up just like chatting for another like
Yeah,
2 hours.
we talked for yeah.
That's the power.
Dude,
That's the power.
I'm still
the
getting
power
that
of
best
friendship
buy.
right there.
I told Katie this morning.
Like I
Yeah,
wanted to
for
leave
sure.
and go to sleep, but
Bro,
I just
I
couldn't.
told Katie
like,
this morning,
your
I'm like,
voice
by
is
the
just
way-
like,
Yeah,
yo, bro, let's do this.
so sultry.
It's
yeah.
sultry.
So anyway, as far as the sound goes, Weston, I'll let you take that one.
To be honest with you, I didn't listen to the sound that much because we were talking.
Oh,
So
okay.
I like maybe someone else take it and I'll take something else.
Okay, I'll defer to that to Aaron.
Oh man. Sound was fine. I actually specifically did turn up the sound a little bit, just so we could listen to it while we were playing. It was fine. I mean, it was normal, like kind of like goofy 8-bit
Yeah.
music. Nothing outrageous, and like you had like the crowd kind of
Mhm.
cheering like cheering sort of thing when you get a touchdown and stuff like that. And it didn't really. I mean, maybe like 8-year-old me because I played Super Tecmobowl on the NES quite a bit.
Tecmo Super Bowl
when I was a
actually
kid
is what
and loved
called.
it. Yeah, whatever it's called. But anyway, I played that a ton when I was a kid and thoroughly enjoyed it. And like I said, like 8-year-old me probably would have been super invested in the sound of the game. Adult me is kind of like, whatever, take it or leave it kind of thing. Throw on some hip hop or something like that, the hip hop rappings or whatever in the background. But otherwise, it's take it or leave it as far as the sound is concerned.
I'm just imagining like
on
you
camera.
just being like, "Yo, throw that Drake on, yo," and you're just the whitest guy ever. Like, I can't even imagine.
Okay, first of all, if you listen to Drake, don't ever talk to me. That is the worst. Who
Started
listens
from
to
the
Drake?
bottom.
Probably
down
your
here.
wife. Let's be honest.
No, no.
I don't listen to Drake.
Oh my god, people who cry constantly listen to Drake.
That makes no sense at all, but I like it.
You know who you are.
Who you are, you degenerates.
Yeah,
You degenerate Drake
Okay.
lovers.
but yeah, as far as the sound for me, it kind of almost reminded me of how like MLB PA was when we played that game, Weston, like one of the first episodes. It kind of had just those like the whistle sound and like the certain noises it would make, like when they would say certain things. But overall, I thought it was fine. It wasn't annoying. It didn't annoy me at all. So yeah, but anyway, so the game overall, it was just an enjoyable game to play and just really well put together all in the end. And I thought the balancing was cool. Like we were saying, certain teams are better than others. And that's what I want to talk about is one player mode. So there was like a season mode in this, and I did that. I played it, and I played a whole season where you basically just go through every team, and there's like a password system too. So if you lose, you can kind of just go back to where you left off. But yeah, it was definitely harder playing with friends than it was playing, just the computer, things like that. So.
100%.
And it was more fun to play with friends too, even though I lost pretty badly a couple times. So
I'll give you a rematch one day.
anyway, yeah, we'll have to.
We'll
gotta do
rematch it once I can actually come see you guys.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, you think Nintendo would have figured out the net play situation on that, and it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough, even when we had good signal.
Yeah, when it was good, it was really good. But then, like once it was bad, like there was a time that I literally on my screen I made the touchdown, and then it reverted back before I made the touchdown, and I threw an interception. I was like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's taking
literally touchdown on my
Yeah.
screen, reverted like 5 or 10 seconds back because it was like getting a connection, and then I threw an interception. Like I was mashing the button because I was so excited. Just immediately threw an interception. I was like, oh god.
It's like the final season of Lost, where like one thing's going on in this reality and another thing's going on in the other.
Whoa.
Dude, shout out
Taking
anyone who
voices,
actually
come on.
watched Lost and thought it was a good show.
I just rewatched it, and it is a very decent show. It when it
never
was
seen
way
it
more
before.
frustrating watching it in real time. But when I just had a rewatch, in the last season, kind of got off the rails. But as far as the show itself, I really enjoyed it. Like it was good stuff. So it was all over the place, and I think if they ever redid something like that, maybe they could get on track. But yeah,
Aaron, did
it
you ever
was-
watch Lost?
we'll get into this one day.
No, that's what I was saying a
I-
second ago. I've never
I keep
watched
trying to
Lost
get him to
before.
watch
I
it.
watched it like I watched
I
it with
know.
people, including Mason, like a bunch, and I never really got into it.
You need to like sit down and like watch the series though, like from
Bro.
start to finish. Because I was
Here,
You know what we need to do is we need to all get together and hang out and watch Heroes.
but only season 1,
I'd
2,
watch
and
the
3.
first season
I'm
again.
not watching anything past that because it went downhill big
No.
time.
Yeah, just 1 and 2 was fine.
1 and 2 was really
Just
good.
one.
2 seasons. Yeah, the first 2 seasons.
yeah.
But
I'm down just to watch the first
Yeah.
season.
100%.
Binge it.
so here's the problem here, and I like this is that's why I wanted to see if Aaron had watched it, is because per like usual, like Mason, his like whenever I ask him about something, his ability to say something's bad is like 5% of the time. So he'll be like, or just in general, he's like, "Oh, I love that show," and I'll watch it. I'm like, dude, I'll be honest with you, this is trash.
We just like different stuff, though. You're like more into like the HBO side of things. I'm more into like the network television side
Weston
of things.
like watches
you know?
good stuff, and then
I
Mason
know.
just watches horrible garbage.
Facts. No,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No. But here's the deal: is that we do like some of the stuff, but not only that, but there's like very few times that you'll watch something, and if you get into it at all, like you don't really dislike things. Like even if things are mediocre, you're like, oh, it was really good. Whereas like I think I'm just really critical of like everything in general. So when like if I watch Lost and I'm like 5 episodes in and it's not phenomenal, I will literally never watch that show ever again.
But I do that too with other shows. Like I'll get into a Netflix show, but I don't finish it because I'm like, I don't like this. I don't want to watch it. So like I
Peppa Pig doesn't count though.
I only really finish things that I actually like.
Okay, first of all, Peppa Pig is the light. Okay, so
I don't even let my
that
kids
down
watch that
in
show.
your
I'm like,
notebook, okay?
no.
All right.
I'm like, we're watching something else like Spider-Man or Power Rangers.
I've been getting
or something.
Noah into Avatar. He is super hard on Avatar, right?
I'm totally.
We've been watching Zoids.
Ooh.
Been watching Zoids with my
Nice.
5-year-old. It's pretty good.
I'm totally down to try a show, but I just know that there's a strong chance that because there's some of like the best TV shows out there Mason doesn't like, and I'm like, okay, you like all this other trash, but somehow
Like what?
like any of the good like The Office or
This is awesome.
Oh, that's a trash
Watch
show.
Umbrella
my
Academy, bro. Watch Umbrella Academy immediately.
or
Office
like
sucks.
or you were saying like The Flash or Supergirl, all that trash CW stuff like you love, and I literally am like,
Ugh.
I'm not saying that you can't enjoy
Yeah.
it, but those aren't good shows.
Yeah.
And I've drifted off. I've lost touch with all that stuff. Even I watched like the events and things like that. But even this last event was not good at all.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I did like the first few seasons of some of those shows. I never got into Arrow, but that was probably the best one.
And Arrow was
critically
bad,
or whatever.
too. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
Like it was the best of the bad,
okay.
and it was still bad in my opinion. But
I don't know.
What's a
I don't
show
know.
that we
Those
both
shows are
like,
pretty
that
good.
We both like got down with, like that we were just.
One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill.
It's more just like
was a big
it's more
one.
just like anime and things that we really
Probably.
kind of like agree
Dragon
on.
Ball Z
You know,
is probably
It's
like our
not-
pinnacle of what we agree is fun.
yeah, like our kids
Yeah.
shows. But like I don't, like I said, I don't get into a lot of the HBO stuff. I'm not a huge show watcher in general, so I'm like a very casual, and I watch a lot of reality TV, which is not the best television either, but it's just, that's what I've always been into. So
Love is Blind. Bro.
Anyway.
Love is Blind. The Circle. Love is Blind. Watch them back to back.
I watched that. I watched the that and that other one. What was that other trash one they had on there?
You know what?
Oh,
we both like
There
Survivor.
was,
I
there
could
was
get down
Love
with
is
Survivor.
Blind. There was the
Yeah,
Circle.
Survivor's like my favorite. Survivor's probably my favorite show ever, just because I have wanted to be on the show for so long.
Dude,
And I just love the entire strategy of the game.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff,
think that's
but-
probably what like if we had to like TV wise or this and that. Like that's probably what we would agree upon. Like I like Survivor quite a bit. I think it's a pretty decent show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a super fan.
I'm really
The
big fan
game
of
never
Bluey.
gets old. They've done.
Of what?
Have you guys watch Bluey on Disney Plus? It's really good.
What is that?
But you said
That
something
sounds weird.
else.
You know, you're
Bluey?
watching Bluey.
It's like this family of dogs from Australia. It's delightful.
That
It is
sounds
actually
awesome.
really fun.
Actually,
It is really
Speaking
fun.
of
Or
Disney
not-
Plus,
it's either
what-
Australia or New Zealand. I think they're from New Zealand, but anyway.
What did you think of Mandalorian, Weston?
I loved
Or
Mandalorian.
did you even watch it?
Dude.
Yeah.
If you don't,
I
love
enjoyed that.
Mandalorian,
Did you like
I'm pretty sure
Mandalorian?
you're a soulless terrorist.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I love that show. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway,
This is the win.
like I said, we like
yeah,
different
you
things,
just
and I don't
you
care.
don't like serious stuff, and you don't like you don't like dramas that much, like real dramas, not just like reality drama.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
Correct?
The Watchmen.
yeah, I mean,
Amazing.
I don't think Lost is pretty funny. It was pretty much a dramatic.
That's a drama.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Westworld.
but
A
anyway.
plus.
You're just naming all of the HBO shows.
Yeah, I don't watch any of that. I've never seen Game of Thrones. I've never seen any of that stuff. So it doesn't interest me one bit,
Just like the lighthearted stuff. It's all good. Yeah, we do
Yeah.
differ quite a bit. I think we get down on a lot of the same movies though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
we'll like
Nausicaa,
some
the
stuff.
Valley of
Yeah,
the Wind.
for sure.
A plus.
Dude, true. I watched that on HBO recently, and I was like, this one's
Yeah.
It's so weird and random and like kind of creepy, but it's the first
They
time
got
I'd
all the
seen it,
Studio
but
Ghibli stuff on there now.
it was crazy.
All the Studio Ghibli movies, A+.
Facts.
A++.
Facts.
If you want an HBO show that's not super hardcore, like with all the, bits and bobs and what have yous, Golden Compass, it's not Golden Compass. It's His Dark Materials is the name of the show, but it's based on the Golden Compass, and the following books is really good as well. It's basically like PG-10. It's like it doesn't. It's not like aggressively adult, but it's kind of like thematically spooky, I guess, in some ways for kids. Like it's a little bit scary sometimes for kids. But
it's made
really
for
good.
teenagers.
Yeah,
But
that's
not-
why I say like PG-10. Like I wouldn't show it to like your 5 or 6 year old, but like if it's a kid like 10, 12 or so, like they'd enjoy it. I think.
Have you guys ever seen Black Mirror? Are you into that like creepy stuff too?
Yeah, I watched like the first episode of Black Mirror, and I was like, I'm not a big fan of this. I've tried to get into it because I know it's like such a big like pop culture phenomenon, but I just couldn't do it. It just I don't know. It was weird. It was too weird, which is a lot for me to say.
Oh wait, Mason, did you ever get into Stranger Things?
Oh, Stranger Things
Nope.
is so good.
See,
No,
like
never
all of
watched
these
it.
wonderful shows.
Yeah, you know what? Like, but like I had that show ruined for me. I've had a lot of shows in my life ruined for me because of my brother. So like a lot of that stuff just got ruined for
Why
me
was it ruined for you,
from
though?
the get go, and I'm just like, we just got some rough past stuff.
Yeah.
But that I'm not going to get
got-
into. We'll talk about that on the therapy podcast.
Facts.
But
You can't let people
yeah.
affect
But,
you,
like,
man. You
this
gotta
is the
enjoy stuff for
sexist-
yourself.
This is the sexist
Yeah.
podcast,
But-
not the therapy podcast.
yeah, exactly. But like, yeah, so I never got into that show. And it's so far into it now. I'm like, like Lost was something I remember fondly, and I'm just like starting something new in my head. I'm just like, I don't want to do it.
You're just
So
like your sister, man.
I
you like people
really
ruin
like
things for
watching
you.
things in real time.
Mm.
Like week by week. I really enjoy that. Binging stuff it's something I'm having to grow accustomed to with the whole Netflix thing and things like that. But like I like episodes coming out in real time usually. But I actually enjoyed binging Lost better than I did watching it in real time, just because of there was so much issues with the writer's strike and things like that went on with the show, just getting off track and then bringing it back around and the whole thing. So
yeah, I think
Anyway.
the thing with like shows coming out 1 week at a time is it creates so much more of a cultural phenomenon. Whereas like if you binge a show,
yeah,
it's huge.
there's hype
for a
around
minute.
it. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like the Tiger King when it came out, it was bananas for like a
And now you barely hear
while.
about
and
it
then,
anymore.
yeah, like nobody makes those. Nobody makes Carol Baskins kill their husband jokes anymore. Like I do.
yeah.
And people think it's funny sometimes when like it's because it's such like a outdated reference at this point, and it's only been like 6 months.
Yeah,
but
but remember that was a reality. That's basically a reality TV documentary. It's not like a show
Sure.
that has like
Yeah.
I mean, it had a storyline obviously, but it's not like something that'll have another season. Like even though like Umbrella Academy,
They're making
that's the newest one.
Dude, they're making a scripted show based off of it. Did you not know this?
No, I know that, but I'm just saying like
Okay.
obviously what it was right now. But I'm saying like
All
Umbrella
right,
Academy when you're gonna have like 3, 4, 5 seasons. They're like they can come out with
Right.
10 episodes and you can kind of binge them and feel
Right.
hyped for the next one. And a lot of you don't. I mean, those episodes are so long now. You can't really binge unless you like have a complete day to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I did like I was at work and like got the dual monitors going on, and I had like the first season kind of going while I was like building websites and stuff, and had it kind of on in the background sort of thing. And it was nice because it's just like I'm just kind of like trying to recap myself and like remind myself of everything that happened in the first season so that I get prepared for the second season. And then I binged the second season, and it was bananas good. And if anybody's listening and they haven't watched Umbrella Academy yet, oh my goodness, please go watch it. It's delightful. Fully endorsed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
Okay, we should just cut this here because we've actually concluded that Mason does not like good television shows.
Mason?
Have you seen that show Outer Banks on
we
Netflix? Have you?
Mm.
You should check that out. It's good.
It's not that good.
Don't take my word. Don't take my word.
I've watched
for
it,
but
and
was
it's
good.
a solid like 5 out of 10, maybe.
I'm gonna.
No, it was much better than
No, no, no,
much
no.
better.
Mason's
Yes.
word for
Okay,
Yes, it was.
we Sherlock
ever
Holmes
good.
this, and we completely concluded right now that
No.
Mason, we cannot take Mason's word for this. He does not
Mason
like good
hates
stuff.
Good stuff.
It was
If
fun to
you are
banter.
a fan of terrible, terrible things, Mason, just DM Mason, please. DM him immediately.
Oh, we got to stop bullying Mason about this. Okay.
I know, I'm just kidding around.
Hey, we all like what we like, you know?
Exactly.
So, all right, well, we need to rate this Tecmobowl game and get the hell out of
We
here. I got a
literally
good
went on like a 15.
I got a good
rant.
quiz.
No
So,
facts.
yeah. So anyway. All right, so footballs, I'm going to give this one a solid 9 because it was just a good all-around game.
You know, I'm gonna give this a 10. I think this really paved the way for football games, and this is my first 10 that I've given on the podcast. But I don't think there's anything wrong with this game. I think it actually does things better than a lot of games that came after it. And all things considered, it's a solid game, and it, like I said, it paved the way for sports games. So yeah, 10 out of 10, man, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not the three
cool.
shots of Patron talking.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 as well. I think this game like was better than NFL Blitz that we played, and in general, like there's nothing gapingly wrong. It's still fun, and it was made in 1987. Like I don't know, like there wasn't anything that I was like, well, I'd like this a lot better. It was good. It was a great game, and it's still fun up to this day. Replayability is high. It's like the replayability for me is like if you guys are like, yo, let's grab another game of Tecmobowl. I'm like, sweet, let's do it, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's not necessarily like there's other games that of course I want to play, but if you said that, I'd be like, yeah, sure, no problem. I can hop on for 30 minutes and do this. So for me, a game that's made in 1987 is, like Aaron said, is better than half of the football games that have come out since then, and I can replay it in 2020. It's a 10.
Cool. All right, awesome. Yeah, moving on. So we have a couple things to talk about here before we get into the quiz. Apple versus Epic. So basically, Epic Games put a bypass to paying for the merch on Fortnite. If you bought like in-game purchases on Fortnite to bypass Apple's system, and they're having a big old crazy lawsuit going on about it, and Apple's pulled developer tools, and basically just like don't bite the hand that feeds you. Google as well, they've pulled their the game Fortnite itself off their stores and everything. So what is kind of your thoughts going on this one, Weston?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because you have to, if you're on a platform, you have to pay, right? Like that's just the way that like Google and Apple have provided devices and a store to be on, and you have to pay. If you want to be a part of that, you have to basically pay your dividend. It's like renting a space. Like they rent a storefront, right? That's what you do, like in a shopping mall or a center, is you rent that storefront from the owner, and then you can sell your goods, and essentially like a portion of it, which would be your rent or whatever, goes to the owners, right? And that's exactly what the App Store is, or or the Google Play Store is. They've set up like a marketing center basically. And you're kind of renting from them, and you pay them a portion. It's high. Like I think we talked about this the other night. Apple's 30% of your like profit off the top. That's like of your purchase. That's pretty stinking high for basically just allowing people to pay through them. But that's what you're still, you agreed to these terms and services to beginning, and realistically paying 30% over what we figured out to be a relative, I mean, it's substantial money. It's definitely big money, but a smaller portion of your market share. Like you don't really want to. There's no reason to do this, because then you basically made your renters mad, and now they're just kicking you out. Like now you're getting no money. 70% of something is a lot better than 100% of nothing. So I think, I don't know why they did this. My theory is this will be resolved, and they're just gonna end up taking like a smaller portion, like a madly smaller to get back on there, or because I'm talking about millions of dollars, and I don't know, like Epic has to obviously realize that there's too large. If one of the companies did that and the other didn't, they're like, whatever, we don't care. Yeah, maybe they just would feud it out. But since both Google and Apple did, and it's pretty big money when you're talking about that, then I'm guessing that they're going to just cave and probably pay more. They're probably going to pay 40% or whatever just to get back on. Like, it has to be resolved at some point because it's what their players want. So I don't think they're just going to get into like a very super drawn out feud, but I don't really know. So I'm not in this marketing space or this business, but they basically went to a shop, set up shop, and were like, oh, I don't want to pay you rent. And then they're like, they got kicked out.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is so weird to me. Why would you do something like that?
Yeah.
Like,
greed.
Like, why would they set that up in the beginning? Yeah, well, yeah, before, but how did they think they were going to get away with it? Is the problem?
I think the thing is
from Apple
is like if you look at like Epic's,
oh yeah,
if you look at like Epic's tweets and stuff like that, they're talking about how 30%'s too high, and we're not doing this for us, we're doing this for everybody, and this is for this is like a shout out to like every developer, like nobody should have to be paying 30%, and like, I kind of get that that's Epic's shtick, because that's the reason they opened the Epic Game Store on Windows too, because Steam takes such a big cut, and so does Origin. They take a big cut of game sales on their platforms, and Epic takes quite a bit lower percentage. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's about half as much as Steam and Origin, if I remember correctly. And so their whole thing is they're trying to be like the everyman's gaming platform, trying to promote indie developers and things like that. And so, from their point of view, they shouldn't have to be paying Apple and Google as much. And Google kicked them off the platform. I think Apple's been kind of kicking it up a notch as far as the press and everything has gone with it, with like banning the UE4 and the Unreal Engine participation, things like that. It's just like Weston said, though. I feel like Epic's eventually gonna have to cave, because all Apple and Google are saying is like, look, everybody pays 30%. It is what it is. If you don't want to pay that, then sayonara. Like, they don't need them.
Yeah.
These are Apple and Google are the two biggest companies in the world. They don't need Epic's money at all.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
And Epic needs them more than they need Epic. And so it's just going to come down to who's going to spend more time, who has the funds to spend more time in court, and who cares enough to really make a big deal out of it. And eventually, I think Epic, like Weston said, Epic is probably just going to wind up caving and just going back and with their tail between their legs, and just paying the 30% plus the court fees and everything, and and just getting on with their life, because it was idiotic for them to start a feud to begin with. They're just hemorrhaging money. They're not going to win.
Yeah, they went into this to stand on a mountain that doesn't matter to any of the people, the other side.
Exactly.
They're like, see ya. Like, and no other game developer is going to do this and stand up with them and have this big movement to get this, because they don't want to lose their business either. Like, I'm sure Unity Engine's over there dancing, but like literally Apple took it a step further. They were like, okay, we're going to remove Fortnite. We're going to start removing it off devices. And not only that, we're going to crush this market for you, because we're not even going to allow developer tools to come for new developers to make new games on our platform, because you're being greedy, in the end, and like you're biting the hand that feeds you. So I don't know if at this point, I don't even know if Apple would come back to him. I think it just looks like they're done, or they're putting up a pretty big front.
Yeah, because as far as I'm aware, like all Google said was like, "Hey, you guys are kicked off. You can't nobody can download Fortnite anymore, but they can still get it updated if they already have the app. But nobody can download it anymore. You can still play it and what have you if you have an Android device, as far as I'm aware. But Apple is just kicking them right in the nuts. I mean, it is what it is. Like they're just demolishing them at this point.
Epic went head on and filed a suit against Apple for their guideline, like for Epic not following their guidelines. It's like, I'm going to file a suit against you because I don't want to listen to what your policies say, kind of thing. It's just so funny. It's like,
it's interesting though, but there like, even though people haven't like lashed out at Apple like this directly or as big a company as Epic, but there's a lot of people who are trying to get this changed, like Apple's like paywall, and you have to, if something's on their app, like, and if there's in-app purchases, they have to go through Apple, and it's like,
I've dealt with that.
It's something like an they're basically arguing that it's against like an antitrust policy, or there's some like rule, and so there are other companies that like want this to be done and they want to fight Apple.
Yeah.
But the problem is, dude, did you see that Apple's the first company that over market values over $2 trillion? Like, you're kind of fighting Godzilla right now, So I don't know if it's a smart, but I do have to say this, that's super, super crappy is, they don't want this to do, like, this is about Fortnite, but taking everything off Unreal Engine, there's hundreds if not thousands of games on the App Store that are not necessarily directly affiliated with Epic, but people use the Unreal Engine to be able to because it's great. Like, developers love that engine because it looks beautiful. It's what this cutting edge games, especially a lot of good people love Unreal Engine. So to kind of punish them for Epic's mistake and like like in a real roundabout way, that's really crappy of Apple too.
Honestly, I think it's a big threat just to get them to back off.
I think they said August 28th, so it'll be like 10 days from now, which I hope it is, because that would basically be punishing people who use that engine, like it, and just want to develop their games and are fine for paying, using Apple's paywall. So that would be, to me, that's really silly. And just, I think, they're Godzilla. Like, they're like literally just be like, well, we win, you lose, just back off.
Yeah, and what happened was like Epic filed the suit, and Apple shot back at him and said, "Hey, if you want to push the envelope here, we're just going to catch you. We're going to kick you out completely." So that, I think it is a threat in the end, and I think they will carry through with it if Epic keeps on. But I don't think Epic would keep on because, like I said, they would lose a lot of money on those platforms as well from other people developing on their products. Because it's not free to use Unreal Engine to develop. So
I just hope that, because I could see like the developers and the community actually like start rising up against Apple if that actually was something that like went through, because that would be like just really, that would be, I think that's like a step too far. It's like, take Fortnite off, like don't let them, any Epic game that's that's developed specifically by Epic, not use the developer tools. They can't come on the App Store, but banning like the developer program in general, that seems like it would hurt more people than it would hurt hurt developers more than it would just hurt Epic straight up. So hopefully they don't do that. That would be really crappy.
Yeah, it's funny because I have a couple apps out there in the appverse, and it like getting an app on Apple is like pulling teeth. Getting on the Apple App Store, Google Play, it's like you submit it and within minutes it's up for download. So it's like takes days when you're submitting a new app to Apple, because they go through and they review, and somebody contacts you and you get notes and like all kinds of stuff. And and with Google Play, it's like done, no problem.
Well, that's why there's a lot of
Android's better than
it's an automated
Apple
system versus
there's a bunch
controlled.
of nonsense apps on Android that have bugs and stuff, but obviously like every app that comes in, or that technically they say this, that every app that comes into their store is reviewed and like second guessed and everything, so that they only have quote unquote like groomed applications that fit their platform.
Yep, for sure. So it's interesting, but it's cool. And there's ways around, like you can still have somebody pay for your product, but there's ways around the in-app purchases and things like that with our business, because we have like a membership website. So people pay the membership to our website, and then they can also use that login to have access to the app. So, so it's just like a different roundabout way. But in-app purchases for games and things like that are so common and so like easy. It's like, it's an easy way to grab some cash real quick, So anyway, it's it's going to be interesting to see how this feud escalates and see where it really does go. But it was huge the other day when it was like, I watched it on Twitter develop. It was like, oh, so Epic put their own payment system in the app, and then like 39 minutes later or whatever, it was like, now Fortnite's pulled from the App Store. And then it was like a few minutes later, now Fortnite's pulled from the Google Play Store. So it was just funny to watch it escalate, and now where it is. So anyway, yeah, but the only other thing that I kind of is coming this weekend is DC Fandom. There's going to be some game news coming out of that, but I think the thing that most stands out to me is there's going to be a trailer for the Snyder Cut of the Justice League. So we talked pretty extensively about that on the podcast. So I'm pretty excited to see what that has to offer. Hope it's good. So I'm sure it will be. But yeah, so anyway, I think that's about it. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, not really. I saw a thing that they might be bringing Prince of Persia back. I don't know if that's a real situation or not, but if they did, that'd be kind of dope. They haven't done one in like 10 years. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, they kind of went off on a tangent with Assassin's Creed, because like the first Assassin's Creed game was supposed to be a Prince of Persia game, and then they kind of just made it into its own thing eventually with development, and that's been a whole wild ride. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool if they brought the series back.
Yeah, I love that series. It was really good.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys want to touch on like possible changes to the show that we're going to be doing?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that was kind of something I was going to bring up at the end.
It's gonna be a surprise.
Yeah. So we're going to change the name of the show. We're going to change our format, and instead of I'll let Aaron take it a little more, but we're gonna switch things up a little heavily. Instead of playing like a retro game every week, we're all just gonna kind of be more of like a news-ish kind of what interests us at the time kind of podcast. Instead of just like, hey, we're playing a retro game every week and we're going to talk about it, just because we think it would open it up to a wider audience and just kind of push it a little more. So
yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to...
So you can kind of take it, Aaron, if you want to.
Yeah, basically, the game plan is, we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. We'll still talk about, retro games, of course. We'll talk about newer games, but we're also going to talk about things like anime and comic books and tabletop games and, sci-fi and fantasy TV shows and movies and all those sorts of things. Just general geek and nerd stuff that, really encompasses our lives. Because I think in general, anybody that plays retro games does a lot more than just retro games. And it's the same for us, so it's just branching out a little bit more. And, the idea, the kind of the idea too is more to be able to bring in some younger people that might not necessarily know about a lot of the stuff that we know. I mean, we're in our 30s. Well, I am, and Mason is. I don't know. Are you 30 yet?
Yes, I'm 30.
I couldn't remember or not.
Unfortunately,
you're an elderly person as well. But just bringing in some younger people and just having some fun. Just trying to spread the wisdom to a whole new crowd, and have some fun along the way.
Yeah, and the thing about it is the just the in general with we want to for instance, I've gotten some press copies of like comic books and things like that we were supposed to review, but it just, with our format of the show right now, it just never happened. So, and maybe even some interviews and things like that. And if we can get our numbers up a little better like that, we can bring in some interviews and things like that. And I know I could get some people on the show that would interview, whether it's a comic book writer or like some different things that, we just have to be more appealing to a broader audience. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're looking at there.
We are very unappealing, right? I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I think just kind of piggyback off that idea is I think, at least for me, I want to keep on doing this. I really enjoy this time. This is definitely a part of our lives is our nerdum, our geekdom, and it's a nice way to be able to hang out with the guys and kind of explore that. at least, and for an hour or two every week. So I want to keep on doing that, but I also want to get the community and build our community so that we can have more not fan, but have more interaction with just a community. So we can, and to do that, we probably just need to branch out more from. We're still going to play retro games and probably review them, but it's just not going to be every episode, and it's going to be more of a long form podcast, just discussions on things rather than it being kind of like strictly about reviewing the game. We are going to review games, of course.
Right.
Mason's holding up his Pokemon Academy board game that he just bought, and he's going to play with his kids. So that'll be something that will, just things like that appeal to a younger generation, just new. We already talk about like a lot of movies and stuff, but it seems like we're always trying to get back on track with our reviewing of the retro game. And this way we don't have to. We can actually just express ourselves and be able to build something that people want to come and hang out and just have more fun. Realistically, I think it's just gonna be more fun.
It's gonna be more fun.
Yeah, and for instance, like a couple of weeks ago, we had talked about like Batman Returns and how that was like me and Weston really thought that was a good movie. Hey, that's something we agree on. But Aaron really hadn't seen it in a long time or whatnot, and we're like, oh, go watch it, and then we can talk about it next week. Well, not having to sink hours into a retro game, or I play them a lot, probably more than anybody on the show. But I'm just saying, like, not having to put that time into something, we can actually like focus on a topic each week and try to make it a little more interesting, at least. So
this show is really uninteresting, and we're just trying to bring it up a couple notches for you guys, basically.
Yeah, we're also getting a new host, so like this will be my last show.
I will not be here anymore, and neither will Mason. We're actually gonna have a suicide pact together. And
Jesus Christ! What are you guys? Wait! Why didn't you invite me into this? If anyone's gonna be the one to play the Russian roulette, bro, count me in.
Yeah. Oh no! There's no roulette. It's a firm, solid contract.
You know how at the end of The Notebook where the couple dies together? That's just going to be us when we're old. We're going to all die together.
Spoilers. In bed. What is with all these movie spoilers tonight? First Lost, now The Notebook. What the heck, bro? What the heck?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to like, bring them to the end, and then they want to find out what happened in the beginning. Why'd they die together?
No, that doesn't work at all.
That
doesn't work at all.
Also, when a movie's 20 years old, it's no spoiler. The spoiler alert.
Facts,
thing
dude. Even movies after it's been out for like 2-3 months. I'm sorry, but you always have to say spoiler alert. But after that, it's been out for months, guys. Come on.
That should be the new name of the podcast. Is spoiler alert.
Pretty sure there's already a spoiler alert show.
I'm sure there is.
So yeah, we're gonna keep the same feed and everything, same socials, but we'll be seeing some changes with the name once we figure out what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I had kind of tossed around some names. I don't know if Weston's come up with anything, but me and Aaron kind of chatted about some different things, different ideas.
Useless when it comes to this sort of thing.
I liked Not the Average Nerd podcast just because it kind of had a good ring to it, but because we're not really the average nerds, we kind of like have a lot of interests.
Talk about lifting and also like psychiatry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
it was funny. I was actually this is completely off topic, but I was thinking about starting a new channel / podcast, and it basically just being like about the healthy gamer, because like the people that obviously the amount of gamers that are fit is probably on the low side, but we got to get our fitness as a community up. Healthy body, healthy mind.
So yeah, me and Weston are just going to go back to doing a healthy gamer podcast, and then we'll have this podcast on the side.
Here's what we'll do: is
Aaron's definitely
do this
not invited.
Podcast, but within first of all, I'll see you in hell. Second of all,
it'll be
in the middle.
It's kind of like when I wanted to start a side project band, back in the day, and I was like, well, I'd get Weston to play drums and probably Aaron to play guitar, and I was like, wait, no, that's just our band, bro. That's just a second band. That's like Green Day doing the Foxborough Heights or whatever it was called. Like, it was just Green Day, just playing a slightly different style of music.
Oh, so true.
Man. But anyway, yeah, I definitely want to keep doing the show, and if we can just broaden our horizons a little bit and focus on other things too, so that might be interesting. And we would love to hear from the listeners as well. And I actually I'm not going to announce it yet because it's not firm in stone, but I'm actually going to be going on another show coming up. It's one of my other interests. So
Yes. It's the Michelle Obama
I'll be promoting that
podcast
when I actually
over on
do
Stitcher.
it. So yeah, that one. Yep.
All right.
Me and Weston actually did a business podcast the other week. That was pretty fun.
I know it's weird. I own a business and
TFT.
stuff, and you own a business too. So it's just like, it was for your business's
I have
show.
another podcast that I'm on, but it's like anything other than what we do here. It's that.
Yes.
Pure opposite. So Aaron does the marketing for it. It's good times.
Yeah, nobody's ever heard of it.
Except it has way more listeners than this show.
Yeah, it only has 5,000 listeners.
Oh man. All right, well, I think it's quiz
Let's do
time.
it.
It is which
Oh,
by the way,
man.
the quizzes are not going away with the new format.
No,
No,
the
absolutely
quizzes
not.
are
This is the best
staying.
part of the show.
And we're gonna talk about, in the new format, we are gonna talk about Earthbound, just so we're clear.
Yeah, which by the way, I know Parker, you're listening right now.
Yeah.
You're coming on the show next week to talk about Earthbound
Yeah.
with us.
Has he-
so.
absolutely.
Has he been playing Earthbound? Because I haven't.
He suggested that we play it, and
Yeah.
then we had like a back and forth on social media about it the other day.
Yeah, he
so.
is like fully invested in the idea of us playing Earthbound, and then after Earthbound,
he-
I'm gonna play Undertale again, and we'll go over that as well. And the
I want to play
similarities
Undertale.
between the
I don't
two.
think I've ever actually fully played it.
Really? Oh man, it's so good.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm down to play
Yeah.
that.
I'll send you. I'll
So
send
look
you
out-
some music that you got to listen to after you. You know what? You just if anybody's listening and you haven't played Undertale yet, just go to Video Game Donkeys Undertale. It's like 20 minutes long on YouTube. Just Video Game Donkey Undertale and watch that, and it will make you want to play Undertale. It is so delightful, and it's one of those videos that I always watch when I'm like feeling a little bit blue, and it cheers me up.
Wait, I
anyway.
may have to play Earthbound.
Nice.
This looks sick. I haven't even looked at it.
Dude, it's fun. I've been playing it a little bit. It's
I
pretty
take this
fun.
back.
really-
I'm playing it.
I'm really glad we played Tecmobowl, because also Weston hasn't even picked up Earthbound yet. I'm like 10 hours deep.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah. I'm a few hours.
I will.
into it, but
Like,
I
I have
need
a
to-
straight confession. I probably have played the least out of all of you guys, out of every video game. we've
No.
ever done.
I would have never.
No,
I would have never guessed that.
I
in
would
a
never
million
guess
years.
that.
Dude, I probably, I honestly, I probably haven't even played half of them. No, I'm just joking. I played all of them.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, next week we will talk some Earthbound, and we'll probably have a new voice on the podcast as well. So I'm gonna make your brother come on next week. So
Sounds good.
all right, it is quiz time. I actually have notes for the quiz. If you can hear the paper,
Can.
pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited. I wrote all these questions, so here we go. Are you guys ready for some knowledge?
I mean, I'm watching
am
the
ready.
trailer to Earthbound right now, but yes.
I'm doing shot number 4, but yes.
So this quiz is just a broad range of video game questions, and then the last quiz is branching out from video games a little. The last question, I'm sorry, is it's going to be a little different too. So we're gonna have a little bit of a different format at the end, but the last question is worth more points. So anyway, are you guys ready?
Never
Cue
been
the
more
music.
ready.
All right. As you know, the rules is you just after I'm done with the question, you can dig in while I'm reading the answer, the multiple choice if you want, or you can just wait till I'm done and then dig in. So, okay. So question number 1: what is the most downloaded mobile game ever? Is it A, Fortnite, B, Candy Crush, C, Subway Surfers, or D, Clash of Clans?
Ding, Candy Crush.
False.
I'm gonna go with Clash of Clans.
That is also incorrect.
Oh,
The game is Subway Surfers was the most downloaded game ever.
Damn.
That seems.
You know
so,
what? It's funny
seems
because
so
before
weird.
the whole
Yeah.
multiple choice, I was gonna guess Flappy Bird actually.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that too when I was researching for this question. But yeah, Subway Surfers apparently. So.
Do you know the numbers by chance?
And these were all up there. I didn't take down the numbers for this, but these were all up in the top, ranks of downloaded games. So, Candy Crush I think was second, and Clash of Clans was like third or fourth. So, and then Fortnite was in the top 10.
That's wild. I mean, like, I'm a huge mobile game. Well, maybe not huge, but I'm a big mobile gamer, and I've never even heard of that game. That's wild.
Oh, you know what? I do know the numbers because that's the next question. I forgot I put this as the next question because I had been writing numbers on the side when I was doing things. Okay, so how many downloads? Is it 1 billion or B, 750 million, C, 2 billion, or D, 1.5 billion?
Ding.
Aaron.
I'm going to go 750 million.
False.
1.5 billion.
That is correct.
Oh my goodness.
So, Subway Surfers has had 1.5 billion downloads. That is, and it may even be more at this point because I'm not exactly sure when that information. I think it was 2019. So, moving on, question 3. So it is 0-1 right now. Weston is winning. Launched in 1991, what was the first ever graphical MMORPG ever released? Graphical.
Wait. In what? 19 what?
And launched in 1991. Okay, so Aaron.
Ultima Online.
False.
Oh, what?
Do you want? So the multiple choice is Gemstone 6, Legends of Future, Dragon's Gate, or Neverwinter Nights.
Neverwinter Nights.
That is correct.
Wait.
Neverwinter Nights was launched on America Online and ran from 1991 to 1997.
That's not really an MMO.
Yes, it is. What are you talking
It's
about?
graphical though. Yeah, and it was massively multi.
Ew.
Hey, you lost.
I don't know how
You
I
lost,
feel about
Tequila
that.
Boy.
Facts.
Go drink some more
I don't
tequila and lose more.
I played a lot of Neverwinter Nights, and I don't feel good about that being the correct answer.
You don't have to feel good about it.
Graphical though. Graphical was the first one. So look it up.
What the hell does
1991.
graphical mean? What do you mean by that?
Like actually having graphics and in like a world to kind of explore, I guess.
All right,
So.
I don't.
Because there was like D&D online that was launched in the 80s, that people
But it was
played,
an
so there was things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So, okay. So the next question is, what year was the MMORPG City of Heroes servers shut down? Was it 2010, 2011, 2012, or 2013?
2012.
That is correct.
Ooh.
You didn't ding in, but that is correct.
A ding. I said a ding.
Okay.
A
ding.
ding.
I'm gonna nix you and not give you that answer because of what you did to me last
Okay,
week.
first of all,
And then-
what I did to you last week was revenge for you being a
No.
terrible human.
All right.
All right, so number 5, as of 2019, what is the top grossing video game series as of 2019? Is it Pokemon? Is it Call of Duty? Is it Mario? Or is it Dungeon Fighter Online? And these were all in the top, by the way.
2000.
these
That's
aren't
in
just
2000. When?
randos.
2019.
Yeah. What is the top grossing video game series? Meaning on all levels, like not just video games, merchandise, like all of it.
Ding. Pokemon.
False.
Can you read them again, real quick?
It is, your remaining answers are Call of Duty, Mario, and Dungeon Fighter Online.
I think I know what the answer is actually.
I mean, I feel like it's a trick question, but I'm gonna go with Mario.
That is
Yeah.
correct. So Pokemon did 19 billion and Mario did 32 billion.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah.
Call of Duty in third place with 18 billion and Dungeon Fighter Online randomly with 13 billion. I've never even heard of that.
It's probably
Oh,
some
man.
Chinese nonsense.
Probably.
Man, I think I just had to say Pokemon because I love it.
I know, dude.
Yeah,
I'm wearing my
exactly.
Pokemon 20th
Honestly-
anniversary shirt right
honestly,
now.
Pick if you're gonna compare Pokemon to Mario, and I like Mario, but Pokemon's like so superior.
So it is
Strong
now Aaron got the last 2 and Weston got 2, so it is tied up 2-2. All right, so question number 6. In the Zelda series, what was the character Dark Link's first appearance? And I just I listed these in chronological, so no particular order. Was it The Adventure of Link, A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, or Oracle of Ages? What was the character Dark Link's first appearance?
Ding.
Aaron.
Oracle of Ages.
False.
Okay, what's my other ones?
The Adventure of Link, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time?
False. It was The Adventure of Link. He was the last boss in the original.
And I
Zelda.
literally, I was a 50-50, and I played Ocarina of Time a lot, but I was like, I can't remember. Was there a point that he like met himself or something like that?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I know it's not Ocarina, but I'm trying to think of which other ones it would have been. Yeah.
And it wasn't Link to the Past because we just
Yeah.
played that.
Because we just played that exactly. Yeah.
He was in Link to the Past. It was one of the last battles
Was it?
before you fight Ganon.
I didn't get that far.
Yeah.
I just
Yep.
don't remember that. Sorry.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and actually, Dark Link is hailed to be one of the hardest bosses in any video game in The Adventure of Link. So
Okay.
that's
All
another
right, so
little fun
2-2.
fact.
Is Adventure of Link, is that
Question-
the 2D one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the very
NES,
first
yeah.
NES one.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so question number 7. Which of the Final Fantasy games, of these Final Fantasy games, is considered the longest by, just the people who do the numbers? Is it Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 9, or Final Fantasy 12?
Ding. Final Fantasy 9.
Nope.
Really? I'm glad you went first because I was gonna pick. I was like on the
Dude.
verge.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Final Fantasy 7, 9, and 12. And what was the other one?
Yep.
Or the remaining is 7, 12, and what was the other one?
10. 10.
Ooh. Final Fantasy 12.
That is correct. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh,
And it's by a long shot. The Final Fantasy 10 was hailed to be about 48 hours. 7 was 42. Final Fantasy 9 was only 40 hours. And Final Fantasy 12 was hailed to be
60,
about 60
yeah.
hours.
Dude,
Yeah.
the craziest.
And I had heard that
The
before.
craziest things I like when I played 10, I was like 30, like close to 40 hours in, and I was coming up on like the end boss,
Yeah.
and I didn't even finish that game because like your brother finished it actually and just told me what happened,
Oh,
and
really?
it made me so mad. I was like, fine, I'm just not going to play this stupid game anymore.
See, I tell you, he ruins things. for
facts,
you. Okay,
facts.
going back to that. Okay, all right. So now, question number 8. It is 3-2 right now. What is the largest map in an open world video game? Is it in Guild Wars Nightfall, The Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall, The Crew, or Fuel? The largest open world map in a video game.
Ding. Guild Wars.
Aaron? Nope.
The Crew.
Nope.
It's Elder
That
Scrolls,
is
isn't it?
incorrect.
Damn
Yep,
it.
and it by a long shot. It is hailed to be about 62,000 miles. if
I
you were really
literally
traveling it.
thought this was a trick question because I was like, I've played this freaking game and I
Yeah.
know it's long, but I was like, it's got to be trick. It's
Yeah.
got to be The Crew. Wasn't.
Yeah, and followed by Guild Wars, which was about 15,000 miles.
Okay.
Fuel, and then The Crew, 1,900 miles.
Okay.
I was like, that was my thing. I was like, I've played every Guild Wars, and I know that they're all massive.
Yeah, for sure. But it's funny. I can't even imagine the Elder Scrolls being that huge. It's wild.
Yeah, which-
the Elder Scrolls 2.
Which one was? Oh, Elder Scrolls 2. Okay, yeah, I never played that one.
Daggerfall.
Oh,
The
Yeah.
first one I played was Elder's Morrowind, which was
Skyrim.
3, I
Morrowind,
believe.
yeah. If you
Yeah,
guys
that was
want, you
3.
can play Elder Scrolls Online right now on Google Stadia. Podcast brought to you by Google Stadia. Ride the wave.
Ride the wave.
Ride the wave.
Yeah, I know Parker listens to the show, side note, because he made a Google Stadia ad and said ride the wave on our Instagram.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, so question number 9, and right now it is 3-2. What is the final boss in the game X-Men Legends? Was it Mr. Sinister, Magneto, General Kincaid, or Apocalypse? The final boss in X-Men Legends.
Dang.
Aaron.
Apocalypse.
No, he's the final boss in the second
It's
game.
I'm just gonna say ding, Mr. Sinister.
That is incorrect.
It's the freaking guy, isn't it? General.
General
Dang it.
Kincaid. Yeah, he got into the ultimate Sentinel at the end of the game, and you fight him in a huge Sentinel, and then you take him down. So, and then Apocalypse shows up at the like the hidden scene because X-Men Legends 2 wasn't it called Apocalypse?
Yeah,
or something?
it was X-Men 2 Apocalypse.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
anyway. All right, so it is 3-2, but the it is not over. So what I have set up here is you and Aaron, Weston and Aaron are going to go back and forth and kind of battle each other for this question. Okay, so what I've said for question 10 is name Spider-Man the Animated Series villains. So Weston will name one, and then Aaron will name one, and the first person not able to name one back and forth loses.
Dude.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
I said
And this
shot
question
number
is
4.
worth 2 points. So you either win or you don't here.
All right. I just had shot number 4, so here we go.
All right.
All right, let me grab my Sharpie here. So who wants to go first?
Aaron can go first.
All right, Aaron, go ahead.
All right, I'll go with the old Venom.
Venom, that is
And then
correct.
Carnage.
I've got notes here. Venom and Carnage. Okay, Aaron,
Doc Ock.
that is correct.
Mr. Mysterio.
I mean, are we going? That's not his name, but okay.
I'm Mysterio.
It's Mysterio.
I like Mr.
Oh,
Mysterio.
Weston loses. All right.
All right. Mysterio. There's about 35, by the way.
Oh
So.
boy. All right. Is it my?
And this is not including just Spider-Man villains, just villains that appeared in the show, because there were villains from other comic book universes in the show.
All right. I'm gonna go Hobgoblin.
That is
Green
correct.
Goblin.
Okay.
Rhinoceros.
Rhino, you mean?
Yeah, whatever. You know what? I'm giving.
I'm
I'm
gonna give
calling
it to
him
you.
by his proper name. All right. Just like you said, Mr. Mysterio. All right?
Yeah.
You're just being polite.
I feel you. Okay, the Kingpin.
That is correct. Aaron,
Hold on.
Quit Googling it.
no Googling. We
No,
can't
no.
see you.
I'm not googling anything. I promise. Just trying to think for a second there. The guy that killed Uncle Ben.
No, that's not.
That's
considered
a villain.
'cause he never had a
He
name.
was a villain. He
Nope.
killed his uncle. That's the whole
Is
premise
that
of
really
the
your
show.
answer? Because you lose if that's
The whole premise of the show, I think, is
Actually, it never shows Uncle Ben's. Like it's not a scene in the show. It's just a flashback.
Really?
So,
wait. Which show
pretty
is
sure.
this?
Spider-Man the Animated Series.
The one from when we were kids, like that
The
only ran
90s,
for like
yeah.
one season in 1995.
You guys keep
The
on talking.
only-
I'm going to write down all the villains I know, and it gives me more time.
You know what?
Was that your actual answer?
Yeah, I
I
can't think of any off the top of my head, honestly.
Seriously?
Yeah, for real.
Gosh. Okay.
I know.
Well,
I'm bad.
Weston wins.
Oh, I had at least
Name-
10 more, by the way. So.
Name them all or you lose.
Oh no! All right, so I win,
Yeah, you win.
dude.
That's right.
Honestly, I was a little unfair because if me and Mason were going up against each other, I think I would have lost. But I wouldn't when it was me and Aaron. I was like, I think I got this.
I think you could. I was like, you know what? You could just fudge this a little bit, just knowing Spider-Man villains. But I mean, until it gets really into the weeds, like Baron Mordo appeared, or like Dormammu appeared on the show, and things like that. So anyway,
Okay.
Yeah.
but
Thanks for that super unfair ending. That's okay.
Okay, so
yeah,
like I
you just got to know your
dude,
Spider-Man.
even right now, I when I said I have 10, because think about this. There's obviously Vulture, Sandman, is it Hydro Man? It's the water guy.
Hydrocodone.
Sandman. I don't think he ever appeared in the animated series.
Oh really?
Oh, Mr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sandman.
So
It's not
so
on this
then it's
list.
the Hydro Man, Electro, Shocker, Tombstone, Morpheus, Red Skull, the bad guy from Fantastic Four. What's his name? Doctor Doom.
That's right.
Pinky. the Fist.
There's
Steeljaw.
Steel.
Alistair Smythe, the
Yeah,
lizard.
Scorpion, the lizard. I
Chameleon.
would have gotten all those. Chameleon.
Shaman King.
Card
Captor Sakura.
who is Wilson?
Naruto.
Who is
Craven. The
Oh,
hunter.
Craven. Yeah, I forgot about him.
Is Ichiko Kurosaki.
Who's the guy who? Stop, Aaron. Who's Wilson Fisk's guy who rides around in the little
Alistair
Alistair
Smythe.
Smythe.
Oh, there's
okay.
the guy with the target on his
Tombstone.
I
forehead.
said
Who's that guy?
Tombstone.
Tombstone.
No. Well, I think he's more of a biscuits.
So it's interesting too because Green Goblin, I almost specified it because obviously there was Green Goblin like Senior and Green Goblin Junior as well.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said
that would've worked
Hobgoblin.
too, because that's on this list.
Hobgoblin is not
Harry
Green
and
Goblin.
Norman.
There's
No. That's why I
I mean-
said Hobgoblin and Grey Goblin because they're
There's Hobgoblin, but then there's Green Goblin Senior and Junior, Sandman,
Yeah, there's Harry and
Harry,
Norman.
and Norman,
Mhm.
exactly. Were any of the other symbiotes featured in the show? I didn't think so because I was gonna say them, but I was like, I don't think they were in the animated show.
Just like Spider Carnage when at the end of the show where he turns into Spider-Man Carnage.
yeah. Aren't they doing like in the
But that
in the
wasn't
next
a
Venom
different
movie?
symbiote.
They're
It's
like
just
doing a bunch of symbiotes.
that was the first Venom movie.
No. But in the second movie, there. I mean, they had like the one.
They're doing
other one.
Carnage.
Yeah.
They're doing Carnage. They had 4 or 5 in the first movie, didn't they?
Did that?
I think 4 at least.
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Been a minute
Because
since
we
I've seen it.
played Spider-Man and Carnage or Spider-Man and Venom Separation Anxiety, and right when that movie came out, it was about that entire movie basically. So,
It was good. I
Life
actually enjoyed that
Foundation.
that movie, even though it probably could have been better, but it was still good. I didn't hate it.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
it's super sad that they've got pretty much the movie done. You know, all the filming's done
Mhm.
for it, and all
And
the
they're not
editing
going to release it
done.
because they can't make
They're
any
not
money.
gonna release it till next.
Yeah.
until May of next year. It was supposed to come out in
Dude,
October. but-
like what is that? Not Stranger Things. Hello. The one about the kids who can't. It's no sound. Quiet Place 2. Quiet Place 2 was
Oh,
supposed to be
yeah.
released
Yeah.
like the week
That
before
was
the
done.
pandemic,
Yep.
or the week of the
Yeah.
pandemic,
Yeah.
and then they didn't release it because they would make zero amount of money. It's nuts.
Yeah.
yeah, they're putting Mulan on Disney Plus for $30.
It's a joke.
$30?
Disney live action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's gonna pay $30 to see Mulan? Like, give me a break.
Especially when
okay.
a movie, dude. I go to the movie that I go to. I have like the movie pass as well, a movie theater we used to, but
Yeah.
it's $5 on Tuesday, or like $5.50.
Yeah.
Why would you pay $30 for just to watch it at your house? Like what?
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Bunch of crazy
insane.
people. A bunch of greedy movie
Yep.
makers.
All right, guys. Well, this was a long one, but
That's what she said.
look for some changes.
Well, this is like the
come in
Phoenix episode
in the
where
future.
it's
Yeah.
we're gonna rise up after
This-
this one.
This is the last episode
Yeah.
of the Karate in the Garage podcast.
We did 21 episodes in a row.
Wait, hold
guys.
up.
Like,
I-
little claps for
You're
that.
welcome.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
What can I say except
Well-
you're welcome?
It was enjoyable.
So until next week, look for some Earthbound and just some broader topics.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to bring something to the table. Maybe Aaron will watch Batman Returns this week. That's a good idea.
No, you-
maybe.
no, you
you know what?
you
Honestly,
definitely
I
should.
might.
You definitely
I
should.
might.
You should.
I'm gonna do my
Because-
5th shot of Patron right now, and I'm gonna watch it.
Honestly,
right now.
You would
Classic.
realize if you did that right now, you would call us in the morning and be like, "Dude, what happened? Like, I went to another
Yeah.
dimension. I was the
I would-
penguin."
Also,
I'll call you at noon tomorrow if I do another shot.
there might be some news this weekend about Keaton rejoining the universe
Yeah.
as like older
That's
Bruce
so
Wayne.
cool.
So
I hope he does.
with the DC fandom thing. So yeah, he's definitely in. They might announce it officially this weekend.
That's
this
also
weekend.
what she
so
said.
that'd be cool to talk about it. So all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna press pause on this one, but you guys keep playing.
We're gonna have to come up with new taglines. Well, mine still works. Until next time, I'll see you next time. Weston's not gonna say anything because he sucks.
If you'd like to send us a message, you can email us at kitgpodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at kitgpodcast on Twitter.